Hello friends, I am Nisha Sharma, Associate Professor, Department of English. The topic under discussion today is Symbolism in Rabindranath Tagore's play, The Post Office. One of the most remarkable features of Rabindranath Tagore's play, The Post Office, is the use of symbolism. Tagore uses different phrases, words, characters, symbolism. The reader and the audience need to interpret them for their underlying significance. Tagore himself gave an interpretation of the post office. Although the post office is a simple play, it is deceptively so. The play is roughly 25 pages long, consists of three brief acts, each containing only one scene, and tells the straightforward story of a boy who is sick and then dies. Beneath this framework lies a carefully wrought meditation on death. The play's simplicity, in some ways, stems from its vagueness. Amal's exact age and illness remain a mystery, as do his aunt's name, his uncle's profession, the town in which he lives, the village from whence he came, the illness that killed his parents, and the time period in which the play takes place. This deliberate lack of detail gives the play a universal feeling and appeal, but it also heightens its symbolic import. The play's diction or language is also exceedingly simple. For instance, in a play about death, the word death and all of its variants never once appears. This conspicuous absence only underscores the play's theme. Furthermore, the simple storyline heightens the symbolic effect. It lacks suspense or an intricate plot. It lacks significant historical or political context, and it presents static characters who do not experience any discernible emotional or spiritual growth. Indeed, the characters do not contain much depth beyond their allegorical purpose. What then can be gleaned from the play besides symbolism? The first interaction weighted with symbol occurs when Madhav and Amal discuss the nearby mountains. Amal tells Madhav that he would so love to cross over them. The term crossover is often used to describe death and all the ensuing passes of the soul to a different realm. Madhav, however, finds the mountains forbidding. Here, Amar's spiritual nature is contrasted with Madhav's practical and decidedly unspiritual point of view. From a slightly different angle, one could interpret this exchange in the following manner. On a subconscious level, Amal on the cusp of death is being called to the great beyond. Madhav, on the other hand, is healthy and he is being instinctually warned away. The second exchange, which is of a very similar nature, takes place between Amal and the watchman when the two obliquely discuss mortality. The boy asks the watchman about his gong, which is used to announce the time. From this conversation, the watchman makes a pun about mortality, though Amal does not appear to understand the joke. If he does, then his answer clearly indicates that he wants to die in order to be free. Indeed, the watchman describes time as going onwards, and though no one knows where it is going, everyone will go there one day. He also says that perhaps one day the doctor will hold your hand and take you there. When Amal replies that the doctor doesn't let him go anywhere, the watchman says that he is referring to a great doctor, one who can set you free. Here, Amal responds with enthusiasm. When will this great doctor come for me? I'm so tired of staying here. The watchman responds by observing that the boy shouldn't say such things. In this manner, the watchman takes on Madhav's role of being fearful of death and the afterlife, or at least filled with trepidation at the thought of it. Amal, however, continues to demonstrate his desire for the great beyond. Given this, the boy's constant turning to be outside, to travel, and to see and do everything can be viewed as its soul's earning for the afterlife. Another interesting aspect of this interpretation is mentioned by Nirmal Mukherjee in Perspectives on Indian Drama in English. He states that the Raja obviously symbolizes death and adds that the moment of death for the child is the moment of his union with the king. Indeed, when he dies, Amal believes he has received the letter he has been waiting for and he knows the Raja's approach is imminent. Mukherjee also equates the Raja with God, therefore linking death and God. Thus, according to Mukherjee, the post office is about the earning of the soul for the oversoul of the king symbolizing God. Death brings the fulfillment of such earning. Following this line of reasoning, Mukherjee observes that death is visualized as the liberator, which frees men from all earthly pain. Certainly, this statement aligns itself with most assessments of the play's meaning. Raja as a symbolic representation of death. Returning again to the notion of the Raja as the symbolic representation of death, what other textual elements support or enhance this? If the Raja is dead, then Amal's desire to be made into a male carrier may be equated with the desire to be reincarnated. If the Raja is God, then perhaps Amal quite literally wishes to become one of his messengers. Indeed, Amal consistently uses the term messenger when referring to the Raja's mailman. These closely related interpretations are further reinforced by Amal's conversation with the village boy. Amal asks the boys if they know any of Raja's male couriers, and when the boys reply that they do, Amal asks, who are they? What are their names? The village boys answer, one's called Badal, another's called Sharad, and there are others. Literally translated, Badal is a Bengali word meaning rain, cloud, or thunder. Sharad, or more commonly Sarad, is the Bengali word for autumn. Certainly, if the messengers are meant to represent seasons or natural phenomena, then this reinforces the interpretation positing that the Raja is God. The exchange between Aman and the village boy and its resulting revelation has been commented upon by S.K. Desai in Perspectives on Indian Grammar in English. Though Desai dismisses predominantly symbolic interpretations of the post office, he nevertheless concedes that the symbolism found in the messengers' names is too explicit to ignore. Acknowledging that the king might be God, Desai states that nature with her seasons, like Badal and Sarat, might be the agents through whom God sends his messages. Desai even goes so far as to posit that if the Raja can be God, then the post office might be the whole universe. Though this later statement is something of a stretch, it could explain the headman's anger at Amal's perceived arrogance. If Amal really does think that the post office exists only so he can receive letters from it, then he thinks that the universe exists only so that he can receive messages from it. To the headman, this is the ultimate effrontery. It places Amal rather than the headman as the center of the universe. Regardless of whether or not the post office can be seen as the universe, it is fair to view the Raja as death or God. And it is more than fair to view death in the play as being synonymous with freedom. This latter interpretation is reinforced at the end of the post office when Madhav says to Tagore, why so hushed with your palms pressed together like a statue? I feel a kind of dread. These do not seem like good omens, yet they are exactly that, which is why Tagore responds vehemently. Big white unbeliever, do not speak. Even Tagore acknowledges that the play was meant to communicate that death frees the soul. Mukherjee quotes a letter from Tagore in which the author comments that death in the material world, in the world of clouded wealth, and certified creed says that which brings him awakening in the world of spiritual freedom. Amal's confinement to his room, a symbol of human soul imprisoned in body. Amal's confinement to the small room symbolizes the human soul imprisoned in the mortal body. His soul has received the call of the open room where there is light and beauty of the world beyond, but it is denied to his soul. The imprisoning confines of the body. The only way to secure freedom of the soul is through death, as death is said to be the emancipation of the spirit. Therefore, the doctors and windows of the rooms are open. Therefore, the doctor orders that windows of the room are open on the arrival of the king's physician. The opening of the gate by the king's physician is the opening of the human mind to the nature of experience. Amal finds some comfort in his soul as death brings him spiritual freedom. The symbol of the soul longing for eternity and the relationship between the finite and the infinite and other symbols of the play can be ascribed to the influence of the Upanishads and certain aspects of Vaishnavism. The idea is that the infinite can only be understood in close relationship to the finite, that man is a finite, infinite being conscious of his finitude only through the presence of an infinite nature within him are some of them. Soul learns for eternity. God too sets out to meet the soul. Amal's prayer for the king's letter is answered by the king who sends his royal physician. I can feel his coming nearer and my heart becomes glad, says Amal. The post office, a symbol of the universe. The post office itself becomes a symbol of the universe. The king stands for God. Postmen are are the seasons just representing the visible nature. The post office is a sort of bridge between the known and the unknown. King's letter is suggestive symbol. It comes from a distant, mysterious bird bringing a message for someone whom we hold very dear. It is an invitation to leave the world of pain and enter into the world of eternal bliss. The letter is the message of eternity, the message calling us to reach God. The blank slip of paper symbolizes the message of God, which one is free to interpret according to one's own lights. The post office is the place where messages are received and delivered, and where there is ample scope for communication. Next is time as a symbol. Time is an essential symbol played by the watchman. We are bound by time, but we can conquer it. It calls for great suffering and pain. Amal's deliverance suggests the no. When Amal expresses doubts whether his doctor will let him out, the watchman tells him that one greater when he comes and lets us free. Symbolism in the last scene. The last scene is also symbolic. It shows sleep, death, and silence, but all suffused with an aura of great vibration. Sleep comes softly, the lamp is to be blown out, only the starlight is to be let in. Starlight is to be contrasted with the light of the oil lamp. The light of the lamp can help us to see only physical things, but the light of the stars gives its vision of the great beyond. The symbolism of the last line of the play is also to be noted. Sudha tells the royal physician to tell dying Amal, tell him Sudha has not forgotten him. Sudha, the character, is a symbol of love and affection. Sudha means nectar. The symbolic meaning then would be that Amal is not dead, that he has with him Sudha, the drink of immortality. It is only the body that dies, that the soul is immortal. The post office is written in a style closely related to the symbolist drama that flourished in Europe at the end of the 19th century and beginning of the 20th. This form of drama uses limited action to suggest the larger inexpressible forces to which its characters are subject. What holds our attention in the post office is the transformation of Aman. As he grows physically weaker, he grows spiritually stronger. And in the exquisite passage at the end, as he falls into an eternal sleep, we experience the world as his dream. Thank you.